everyone, and welcome to Manzur Academy Kids Package, Lesson 6. Now, in our long journey in this exciting kids package, we started talking about the alphabet. Then we talked about how to discuss family and family members. Then we looked at colors in lesson 3. And then we talked about the calendar and different holidays and occasions. And finally, in lesson 5, we began talking about the animal kingdom and the different species, such as reptiles and insects and felines. And of course, in today's lesson, we are going to look at the beautiful world of pets. Now, the first question I want to ask you is that what kind of pets do you like? Do you like to keep pets? And if you like keeping pets, what kind of animals do you like the most? Do you like to keep kitties, dogs, puppies? Do you like to keep birds, bunnies, rabbits, ponies, horses? What kind of pets do you like? As you can see in the picture, this little girl is keeping a kitty. Clearly, she likes kitties or she likes keeping pets. Now the question is, how much does she like it, right? Is she, just interested, or she adores it and she loves it and she's crazy about it? As you can see, when you want to talk about something that you really like in English, you can use different structures. You can say, I kind of like it. I really like it. I'm interested in it. I'm very keen on it. I'm quite fond of it. I'm really fascinated with it. I'm in love with it. I absolutely adore it. There are different structures that you can use to talk about something that you like. For example, you can say, I kind of like goldfish as a pet I can keep. Goldfish are the different fish that you put in the bowl, right? They're beautiful, right? So maybe you kind of like them. So you say, I kind of like goldfish as a pet I can keep. Or you can say, I really like. For example, I really like rabbits, especially white bunnies. If you come here and write white bunnies, this is what we call white bunnies. They are adorable, if you ask me. They're just beautiful, beautiful. My favorite is this. For me, um, I really like white bunnies. No, I absolutely adore white bunnies. So it depends how much you love something, like you're crazy about something. For example, you can say, I'm really interested in insects, especially ladybugs. They're so cute, ladybugs. These are white bunnies, but ladybugs, it's like red color with black spots on its back, these insects. Some people love ladybugs. It depends, right? This is just adorable if you think about it. The color, the style, is just beautiful. Even people use this for fashion, because the design in nature is just fascinating. Anyways, so I'm very interested in insects, especially ladybugs. Or you can say, I'm very keen on. Very keen on means, this is something that I pay very close attention to. Like I'm kind of obsessed with, but it's positive. Obsessed can be negative. Keen on is absolutely positive. So you say, I'm keen on reptiles, particularly snakes and lizards. Remember, when we talk about reptiles, we are talking about creatures that move, whether it's a frog, whether it's a lizard. There are different kinds of reptiles. As you can see here, we have a family of reptiles and amphibians. And all these creatures that you see are classified either on reptiles or amphibians. So whether it's the tortoise, whether it's the snake or the rattlesnake or the cobra snake or the frog, or the toad, or the lizard, or the crocodile, or the alligator, or the lizard, all of them belong to the family of reptiles and amphibians. And of course, some people like keeping them as pets. I know you are shocked and you say that's impossible, but I can prove it to you. Keeping snakes as pets. I mean, you are shocked to see this, but a lot of people, they keep snakes as pets and they love it. I mean, it's a free country, you know. People can have different fantasies, right? Different fascinations. But if you ask me, snake as a pet, no thanks. Not me. I'll pass this one, you know? Not my cup of tea. Not at all. So I'm very keen on reptiles, particularly snakes and lizards. And one thing I want to tell you about reptile, that when you write reptile, of course, reptiles are a family of animals, a species of animals. So we have different species of animals, like felines, like mammals, reptiles, amphibians, insects, birds. But snakes, lizards, turtles, all of them belong to reptiles. But when you say reptile, it's also a Mortal Kombat character, very famous, very famous. This guy, his name is also Reptile, with a Mortal Kombat voice, right? Reptile, round one, fight. So I'm sure you have seen him. He has this acidic saliva that he pours down on his enemies. He used to look really classy in like Mortal Kombat 1 or Mortal Kombat 2. He's like the Green Ninja. He's the enemy of both Sub-Zero and Scorpion. And his name is Reptile. So remember that. So when we say reptile, that's the guy we're talking about. Now, you can say I kind of like, I really like, I'm interested in, I'm very keen on, means I'm very, very interested in. Or you can say I am quite fond of. When you say I am quite fond of, means this really gives me the kicks. This really gives me the joy that I cannot put it in words, For example, I'm quite fond of horses. I go horse riding every weekend. So when we talk about horse riding, we are dealing with this. This is horse riding. Sometimes we call it horseback riding. And it's, I think, one of the best sports in the world and the most difficult one, because if you want to learn horseback riding, you have to know how to communicate with a horse, because a horse is a very delicate creature. It is very sensitive, very stubborn, doesn't want to be tamed, and very difficult to be tamed, and has to be tamed only with love. You cannot tame a horse by force. Horse is a very arrogant, very stubborn, very relentless creature. Wants to be free all the time. He's a rebel. Horse is a rebel, has a rebellious character. And so horseback riding takes a lot of hard skills and soft skills, both. You need a lot of skill based, both in character and both in terms of, horse riding skills to be able to tame a horse. So I'm quite fond of horses. I go horse riding every weekend. Maybe this sentence applies to you. Or you can say I'm really fascinated with. I'm really fascinated with all exotic birds, especially parrots. You see, when we talk about exotic, we are dealing with a word that is different. So if I say exotic birds, this is what I get, right? Colorful birds. Birds that wow, you think you are in paradise looking at them. They're just so beautiful. I mean, look at the colors. It's just fascinating. This is beautiful. These are exotic birds. And of course, this bird is called a parrot. So I'm really fascinated with all exotic birds, especially parrots. I keep parrots as a pet. So that means I have a little bird cage with a parrot inside. I don't like bird cages. I think birds should be free. But of course, if you want to keep them as a pet, I mean, what options do you have at the table? So it depends on you. Finally, I'm in love with all kinds of dogs, especially golden retrievers. Now, remember, when we talk about dogs, of course, all of you know what dogs are. They're very loyal creatures. But these dogs are different families, different classifications of their own. Dogs have their own different subspecies or subcategories. For example, golden retriever, of course, retrieve means get, and gold is gold, but golden retriever is not golden retriever. Golden retriever is a classification, a subcategory of the species of dogs. So when we talk about golden retriever, we are talking about these kind of dogs. They're beautiful, aren't they? You've seen in the movies a lot of golden retrievers. And of course, I mean, people have different tastes, right? But golden retrievers are really nice. I mean, my favorite are golden retrievers. I also like German shepherds, and German shepherds are a bit scarier, right? But German shepherds are these guys. These guys are called German shepherds. They're not golden retriever. You can see they're different, right? Uh, German shepherds are used for people who love to use dogs as their like, bodyguards, or the police force can have a German shepherd on their team. They're quite rough and strong, resilient, still loyal, and lovely creatures. Remember, no creatures in this world are evil or bad. Don't mistake. Even snakes and sharks, they're beautiful. It's just that every animal lives based on its instinct, and so because they do things instinctively, sometimes we get the wrong impression. But animals are not evil. Animals are beautiful, and so are German shepherds, right? So we also have bulldogs. Some people love bulldogs, and bulldogs are nice. you know so these guys are called bulldogs, right? And they're also quite sturdy, and you know could be chubby, could be strong, could be well muscled, muscular, kind of round. The face is quite distinctive. I mean, their face, bulldogs are something that most people know them by. But of course, these are also a classification of dogs. There are so many. I mean, the list goes on. I can even show you the puddle. These guys. I mean, they're just adorable. All right, poodle. Sorry, I wrote puddle. No, poodle with one D. Poodles. Right? They're adorable. Poodles are just adorable. Right? They are so fluffy, and so full of life. So fluffy and full of life. I love that. Right? So this is a poodle breed of dogs that you can see. Remember, dogs have different breeds, right? So you can have a golden retriever, you can have a German shepherd, you can have a bulldog, you can have a poodle, or different kinds of dogs. The list goes on and on. There are so many. I just wanted to give you some of the more famous ones that are used out there. And of course, these are for dog lovers. Equally, we have cat lovers, and I absolutely adore cats. When I was a kid, I had a kitty as a pet, and so my impression of pets is always cats. Of course, for you it might be different, but I love cats. I absolutely adore cats, especially little kitties that are just cute. Now, you might ask, I don't understand. Cat or kitty? What is the difference between cat and kitty? And this is where it gets very interesting in our lesson today. In our lesson, we are going to talk about something that is very important for not just people who love pets or kids, but anyone who wants to learn English. They have to understand that in English,